Alrighty. Okay, so today what we're going to do is composition and current affairs. So let's start with the first one. So maybe we'll have Jensen is number one. Jensen, could you read the slide for me, darling?
Composition, how to write a descriptive essay. A descriptive essay is highly creative form of writing which describes an object, person, location, experience, emotion, or situation. It makes use of vivid imagery and imagery and different figures of speech to create a beautiful and impressive experience for the reader. This type of essay is often assigned in creative writing courses in schools or colleges. It does not involve the presentation of arguments or information. It just involves creatively expressing yourself with the help of various language devices.
Okay, thank you. So we're talking about writing a descriptive essay, which is a highly creative form of writing. And the key word that Jensen read was, was that it uses vivid imagery with different figures of speech. All right. So let's continue. Tammy, can I get you to read this, please? Tammy?
What?
Can I get you to read this for me?
Okay. Descriptive composition. Define keywords in question. Relate keywords to personal experiences. Develop a relatable storyline. The descriptive essay is a genre of essay that asks the students to describe genre of essay that asks the students to describe something, object, person, place, experience, emotion, situation, etc. This genre encourages the student's ability to create a written account of a particular experience. What is more, this genre allows for a great deal of artistic freedom, the goal of which is to paint an image that is vivid and moving in the mind of the reader.
Are you okay?
One might,
laughing. Are you okay?
yeah.
Continue.
One might benefit from keeping in mind this simple maxim if the reader is unable to clearly form an impression of the thing that you are describing. Try again.
Yeah, so descriptive writing is about writing it in such a way that you bring your writing to life. And how do you bring your writing to life? You bring your writing to life by creating a visual image. So if I'm going to say the girl walked in and she sat on the chair, there's no, I'm not going to say, but if I say with long black skirt and a red shirt and a red beautiful blouse with patterns of flowers, the girl walked in as she sashayed across the classroom. The waft of a perfume, all right, permeated the whole room. And even as the long earrings were dangling in a ear. So you're already visualizing black skirt, blouse, flowers, ear, you know what I mean? So descriptive writing is about writing in a way where people are able to visualize it. So that's what they talked about it. So if you want to remember a simple maxim or a simple rule, if I read your essay and I can imagine what's happening, that means it's good. If I read your essay and I don't feel any emotions, then that's not a good descriptive essay. Okay. All right, let's move on. So these are the steps to take. Mother, could you help me to read the steps for me, please?
Steps to take. Number 1, take time to brainstorm. Number 2, use clear and concise language. Number 3, choose vivid language. Number 4, use your senses. Number 5, what were you thinking? Number 6, leave the reader with a clear impression. Number 7, be organized.
So if you remember last week, I did this thing where I teach you how to brainstorm. And so what is brainstorm? Brainstorm is writing down all your thoughts on the topic. All right, writing your thoughts on the given topic. All right. And once you write all your thoughts on the given topic, that is not sufficient. After that, I taught you step 2, which is called categorize. Do you remember that? After you brainstorm, I teach you how to categorize. So once you do that already, you've got a rough plan for your essay. So use clear and concise language, use vivid language, use your senses. Could you tell me what are the senses? Sense of? What are the senses? What you can? Tell me. Guys, come on, tell me. What you can, what? What are your senses? What you can see? What you can?
Smell.
What you can smell? What you can?
Hear.
Hear? Mother and Jensen?
Taste.
Touch.
Touch? Taste? And what is the last one?
Think.
Feel. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are your 6 senses, all right? So when you talk about your 6 senses,
Isn't
what can you,
feel touch?
what you can feel? Yeah, actually, you're right. 5 senses, actually. All right. All right, what you can see, smell, hear, touch, feel, and then taste. Okay? Let me get it. Thank you, darling. All right, next. What were you thinking? All right, what were you thinking as in like, all right, that means and you need to write it in such a way that it's very clear for the reader to imagine. All right. And the reader must be, when I read your writing, I must be able to have a mental image of what you're writing. All right, so let's go through all the things. Take time to brainstorm. So if your instructor asks you to describe your favorite food, make sure you jot some ideas. All right, that is brainstorming. If you choose pizza, you may write down a few words: sauce, cheese, crust, pepperoni, sausages, blah, blah, blah. Once you've written down the words, you can begin by compiling a descriptive list for each one. All right, so this is the brainstorm and categorize stage. What do they mean by clear and concise language? This means you're choosing carefully and particularly specific and relevant language. I told you, right, if I'm going to talk about the kitchen, I'll be using words like kitchen, cabinets, cutleries, crockeries, saucepan, stove. If I'm going to say things like classroom, books, blackboard, whiteboard, projectors, pens, then it's a classroom. So these are words that are specific to the genre or to the type, all right? So if it's classroom, you've got different kinds of vocabulary. If it's a kitchen, it's different kinds. So you need to use vocabulary that are very specific and relevant to that topic. All right. And what is the purpose? Purpose always goes to the question about why. Why are you writing this event? Are you describing a person? Are you describing an object? Because you use different words to describe a person or an object. All right. So coming back to it, use as specific vocabulary as possible. And when you say precise language, look at this. Instead of saying found out, I discovered. Instead of saying I run into someone, I encountered someone. All right. And try to use, like, so example, if you're using, don't keep saying scientists, say researchers, biologists. So use specific languages. So that's what I mean. All right. Let's move on. Vivid language. Why use horse when you can choose stallion? Why use tempestuous instead of violent? Or why not miserly instead of cheap? So what they're saying is you need to use words that gives you a stronger or firmer image. All right. Someone is very cheap. Someone is a miser. Creates a different image. All right. And this is called nuance. That means in English, when you use word, it creates different meanings. So if you want a very clear and nuanced meaning, you want to use words that are very, very, very specific. All right. All right. Use your senses. Yeah. See, sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. All right. Which is the same as feel. Thank you, darling. The 5 senses. So use your senses. Remember, if you're describing something, you need to be appealing to the senses of the reader. Explain how the thing smelled, felt, sounded, tasted, or looked. All right. So you create a mental picture. Even as he walked in, I could smell his Christian Dior perfume permeating through the room. I could hear the clickety clack of his work boots. You know what I mean? So I'm painting a mental picture. Number 5, what were you thinking? If you can describe emotions or feelings related to your topic, you'll connect with the reader on a deeper level. So many have felt crushing loss in their lives or ecstatic joy or mild complacencies. So don't just describe what, this is coming back to Madhav's point. Madhav used the word just now about thinking. Am I right? So that is something that you can do. Don't just talk about what you see, hear, and touch, but what were they thinking? Were they scared? Were they annoyed? Were they irritated? Were they frustrated? Were they disappointed? All right, so these are a range of vocabulary words that you can use. All right, tap into the what I would like to call, okay, let me use this term, emotional reservoir. You know what's a reservoir, right? A reservoir is a place that collects a lot of water. So when I say emotional reservoir, I'm talking about a place that collects different kinds of emotions. So what kind of emotions is your character experiencing? What are they feeling? Are they feeling alienated? Are they feeling angsty? Are they feeling anxious? So you look at my choice of words. I'm not saying sad, happy, excited. Because a lot of Sec 1 students go back to these three basic words. He's sad, he's happy, he's excited. No, say things like disappointed, flustered, annoyed, anxious, angsty, flustered, frustrated. Sorry, my brother-in-law's cooking something. He's literally cooking carrot cake, the Chinese carrot cake. So you need to be able to use a variety of language, a vocabulary, okay, a range of vocabulary words. All right, next one. You need to leave the reader with a clear impression. What do I mean by a clear impression? So one of your goals as Sec 1 students, right? Because you have graduated from P6, so we cannot still write like a 12-year-old. You need to be writing with a lot more clarity. So what do I mean by clarity? When I say clarity, you need to use language, words that are very precise, okay? So your goal is to evoke a strong sense of familiarity and appreciation, okay? So if your reader can walk away from the essay craving the pizza that you described, then it's very good already. If I describe to you about the carrot cake that my brother-in-law is cooking right now, and you want to eat it, that means I've done a good job. But if I describe to you the carrot cake, you're like, okay, fine, that means I've not done a good job. Okay, that's step number 6. And last step, always be organized. It is very, very easy to fall into incoherent. What does incoherent means? Writing that has got no logical flow. All right, that is just rambling, just like a brainstorm, just thoughts. No, your essay needs to be organized. All right, especially when it's a descriptive essay, it needs to have an organized and logical flow. All right, so that people are able to have a cogent sense of what you're trying to write. Okay, so always planning to, I always say this, right? I always say this, failing to plan is the same as planning to fail. All right. All right. So now what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to write 300 to 350 to 500 words. Yeah, I always say this, right? Describe an occasion when you stood up for someone else. I repeat, describe an occasion when you stood up for someone else. Okay, so I wanted to start writing this. All right, I know it's impossible to write all of it by now, but I'm going to give you, I need you to write at least the first 3 paragraphs. All right, I need you to read to me the first 3 paragraphs, okay? Not 1 paragraph, not 2. Last time I said 1, then I said 2. I want 3 paragraphs now. Okay, just give me 1 second. 1 second, guys. All right, yes. Sorry, coming back. It's now 7:52. I want you to be able to write this for the next 20 minutes. So exactly at 8:10. All right, if you need more time, let me know. I want to write minimum 3 paragraphs. But when it's your turn to read to me the 3 paragraphs, you're going to read the 3 paragraphs for me. But whatever you haven't finished, I want you to verbally tell me what the whole story is. Okay, so you have got 15 minutes. If you want, I'll give you 20. All right, to sit down and start planning. And
Miss Gloria,
yes, darling.
that means it's like we write 3 paragraphs and after that it's like all the planning. Yes, share with you.
Yeah, share with me.
Okay.
Minimum 3 paragraphs. If you can write out the whole essay, good for you. All right, so let's synchronize our watches. It is now 7:52, so 8:02, 8:12. So I'll give you 20 minutes, okay? 8:12. I'll be back at 8:12, and then we will do this, all right? Okay, best of luck, guys. See you soon. You guys done? I give you all more time. Okay, let's stop share. Who wants to go first?